Good afternoon. It's Sunday. We're in central London because we're going to a party on a boat. In fact, it's on HMS President, which you can't quite see. It's just around the corner near Temple, and it's a birthday slash retirement slash everything kind of affair. And it's, well, this is where it gets complicated. My mum's second cousin. There we go.
Welcome to another episode of Toby's Stupid Vlog.
So we're just entering City London, which can be easily identified by these terrifying looking griffins with weaponry and shields. You see them all around. On every street where you enter the City of London you get one of those. So we're officially leaving Greater London really at this point, certainly administratively, and we're now under the auspices of some very strangely elected alderman and the Lord Mayor. Anyway, we are going to that boat you can just see down there, which is HMS President, which you will have seen if you've ever walked along the embankment. It's the one with the very, very strange livery down the side, all sorts of black and white camouflage kind of affair. Here we are. This is actually a First World War ship, believe it or not, from 1918. And it's one of only 3 surviving First World War warships, in UK ones anyway, as far as I'm aware. And it was a submarine hunter for the very first submarines. So we've left the boat party after lots and lots of ballroom dancing, not by us, by everybody else. This is the South Bank food market, which is always very tempting, but we have eaten quite a lot. That said, churros and chocolate. So it's been quite a chilled weekend all in all. We did very little on Saturday. Sort of stayed in and tried to relax a bit because we haven't really had a day to ourselves. Quite some time. And then today was a ballroom dance party. But I don't ballroom dance, so I don't really want a ballroom dance either, if I'm honest. But there we go. So it's fun to see some relatives and whatnot. And next week is all work. I'm at WebVid tomorrow, rehearsing for Saturday, next Saturday, which is a big award show. And then I've got 2 days in Create, and then I've got a day USP. So whilst I'm off doing that, why don't you take a look at Chloe's blog? So I mentioned Chloe writes a blog. I work with Chloe at heart, and she now does travel writing essentially, travel blogging. And I wrote a piece about my trip to Valencia, which you may have seen. It's 2 weeks ago, I think. I'll put it in the eye. So if you click the eye, it'll be right at the bottom. See the Valencia vlog. But if you want to know a bit more about it, then go and read the blog on Chloe's website. It is at wanderlustchloe.com, and then you can follow the links and scroll down until you find it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope it gives you some ideas for holidays. There's loads and loads of other suggestions and destinations on there. Chloe's been a lot of places in the last 12 months. So feel free to have a flick around, give you some ideas for your next holiday. Nothing like a brisk walk on a Monday morning to wake you up. So I'm off to Vauxhall for some WebVid planning, because all day Saturday I'm filming for WebVid, and by all day I mean from about 7 AM till about 1:45. So all day, and most of the night actually, if I think about it. Anyway, so that's what we're doing today, which means more general silliness. And then, yes, as I mentioned, I'm in all sorts of different places this week. It's 2 weeks on Friday till I go to the Lake District, our big family holiday. But between now and then, I thought I'd have quite a few, days to myself to, make the most of this slightly pathetic summer. As it turns out, summer is rubbish, and so I've only got 3 days between now and then, and that'll probably turn into 2. So, you can't complain really, paid work and all that. Nonetheless, it would be nice if I had both summer and the opportunity to spend some time outdoors. pie from Holborn. See what I did there? Anyway, this is where I am today. And I'm just getting some lunch. Really don't know this area at all, to be honest. But it's interesting, so I'm going to have a look. See what we've got in terms of cafes. See what we've got in terms of parks. And make the most of it. Because, you know, staring at the screen all day, not healthy. So far I've been to 2 gardens this lunchtime. This is Bloomsbury Square, which is very nice. And I'm now going to go to a 3rd garden because, you know, the weather's nice, it's improved. Got to make the most of it. Well, that's annoying. Grazing Field is closed for the next couple of days, which means I'm going to have to go back to the office. I suppose 2 parks in 1 lunchtime is probably good enough. I'm currently walking down Gray's Inn, which is all law firms on the left. And this is where they come and have lunch. So I'm reminded how unpleasant commuting up to central London is. The job today was pretty good, pretty straightforward, nice office, interesting location. Commute was not fun. In fact, I can say with near certainty that I would be very unhappy to ever do a job that required that kind of commute ever again. It's just, the job couldn't be good enough to warrant that commute. It's horrible. District and Piccadilly lines, commuter hours, just horrible places to be. You stand up the whole time if you've got to carry anything. It's exhausting. Anyway, enough of that. I'm being paid very well for this job, so I'm happy to be doing it. And I'll be there again tomorrow. And then Thursday I may get to myself, if the weather holds, we might be in Kew, which would be nice. And then Friday I'll be USP, and I've got to come back possibly, and then I've got this all-day Saturday job, so I might be staying in Hammersmith on Friday night, but that's yet to be decided. Here we are again, almost done now. Just exporting the video, then waiting for some feedback. Gonna try and make the most of the outdoors again. It's warm today, it's a nice time to have some lunch, sit in a park again. Here we go, here's where I was yesterday, Red Lion Square Gardens. He seems very happy, and it's not as sunny as it was yesterday. It's still very nice and green. Today is a very nice day. As promised, the weather is awesome. I do have to go into Vauxhall right now to drop off some cameras, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to go into Kew, might do a bit of periscoping. We'll certainly be catching up with the work I need to do for RHP and others, because tomorrow and Saturday I'm working again. So I'm going to try and work outside, make the most of the sunshine, and genuinely enjoy my day off. It's not very off, but it's as off as I'm going to get for a while. So we're off to Kew. I'm going to do some periscoping in just a moment. I'll show you a very short glimpse. But don't forget, if you want to join me on Periscope at any point, you need to follow me on Twitter, which is at Toby Dollier, TOBYDOLIER. Anyway, we'll be talking about trees and probably other things. So that was an excellent Periscope session. I'm just walking towards the kitchen garden now to see what they're doing. I might have shown you these before. They're little posts, and they've got initials and dates on in Kew Gardens, and they're boundary markers for the old landowners before these were royal gardens and before these were public gardens. It shows the edge of people's land. So I was mentioning this on Periscope a while back. You see that enormous tree in the centre there? That is a London plane tree. It's probably about 25-30 metres tall, maybe 35. Anyway, I'm growing one of those on my windowsill. In fact, I'm growing a couple at the moment. I don't know how many will survive. Yeah, one of them. Can't work out if I'm being optimistic or stupid, but they can live to be about 400 years old, which is kind of one of the reasons I'm doing it. It's kind of immortality through tree planting. Here's another very, very old tree. It's a few hundred years old, being held up by posts. But I like the idea of you grow a little tree, you plant it somewhere that you know it'll be looked after, and then you know that in 400 years' time, someone will look up at that tree and they might think, I wonder who planted that. And they'll never know, but it'll be very satisfying nonetheless. Somebody's planted here a giant inflatable garlic. Happy Friday from Camden. So today I've been doing selectory things. If you're in the radio world, you know what that means. Otherwise, it's a computer that decides what songs you play on the radio. And because I'll be doing that for the next week and a bit up here, and also been trying to work out how to wire a television into their setup so you can do sound to picture things. All very exciting. Anyway, I'm making the most of the fact that I've got an hour to go and grab some lunch. Not so much looking forward to getting up early tomorrow and going to Hammersmith, but feel free to watch the next vlog to see quite how miserable I am about that. I will be there all day from 9 AM to just before midnight. Anyhow, that's my problem because I agreed to do it, and now I'm being paid rather well for it anyway. And all the stress will be over and I'll have Sunday to myself. And then all next week I'm back here. But then I had half a day yesterday, so a day and a half's weekend, what more do you need? It's always a strange thing when you're freelance. It's kind of a balancing act. Like, you want to make use of the fact that you don't have to work Monday to Friday. But in reality, everyone else wants you to work Monday to Friday and sometimes Saturday. So, yeah, well, we're getting there in terms of the balancing. We're not quite there, but we're better than we were.